I thought that like becoming their photographer gave me like credibility, and I thought that it was gonna fill this like insecurity or help with this insecurity of being like, oh, now like when people ask me what I do for work, I have something cool to say. So now you're gonna think that I'm like cool and I'm gonna get validated for that, and like I'm gonna feel like I'm enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the 505 Podcast.
All right.
Here we go.
We are back.
Oh, that was
the worst one you've done in a while, Braden.
No dents though.
All right,
and
I'll go.
That's what really matters.
I have not touched this can. Usually
Okay.
I secretly prep it ahead of time.
Whoa.
Do you guys know this trick? I bet you guys don't know it.
A little bit of leakage.
You guys know that trick?
No dents though. Whoa.
Yep.
Bartender Fig.
Wait. So you put this straight up?
Yeah. Just pour it right there. And
For
then
the
let
listener,
it hang. Let it hang
we're
right
just
there.
letting the can pour itself.
Insanity.
Dude, are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
That's
you
nice.
learn something new every
That's
day if you
nice.
watch on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, you got to make sure to
shit.
subscribe because 58% of you guys aren't subscribed and you're watching on YouTube,
analytics,
which is
dude.
just unbelievable. Also, please leave a review on Spotify. It helps us out so much more than you know. And shout out to all the rocks. They copped merch, dude. You guys are good rocks. Let's go.
I think you totally missed Chase's open. I want to know what you
Did
gave.
you see it? It's pretty good.
Didn't see
You
it.
have
Here,
to-
just rank mine.
Yeah.
It looked. That was actually pretty solid. That's the best Kostas.
Oh,
I've ever
fuck,
seen.
I got a little
fuck
tired.
out.
I've never-
5'7".
I did, so imagine that mine is
But
a
better.
dent with a little bit of leakage.
A little splash. Splash can kind of be fun.
But here we go,
sometimes.
ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do
It's
my
like
trick.
It's like a
Oh,
little.
that one's not going to work. It'll work.
No,
we're just not going to work.
It's just coming out so
It's too
fast.
small of a. You
Too
need,
small
I
of
need
a-
a wide mouth. How did you figure that out?
Cheers.
'Cause this is
Cheers.
it's not like that's like a normal thing because this is like a big jar that we really only have
Wait,
here.
okay, speaking of cheers,
Great show.
I haven't seen it, but I'll have to check it out. Okay, do you guys feel, this is a questionable question, do you feel like you need to make glass contact with everyone
No.
at the table when you cheers?
Absolutely not.
I do, and I get OCD about it too,
You're
and I
kidding.
kind of freak out.
You walk over
If-
to the other. What if you're at a 14-person
So
table?
imagine that's a little different. But
I
if
think,
like
I think it's within arm's distance.
100%.
yeah, with this arm's distance. But if I know that I have missed, so like, if we all three cheers at the same time, and I know I just kicked Kostas' can, I'm gonna like, and it really freaks me out. It really stresses me out. And sometimes I'll just do it without even noticing. And I'll just like do a little tap.
Kind of a little taparoo.
Yeah.
Like wait for like some intersection
Yeah.
traffic to clear, and then
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
another
He's
side.
like
the
walks
way-
over to the other side. He's like, I don't think I've met you yet.
37 minutes ago, our glasses did not clear.
Dude, so Wolves, huh?
Dude, I don't want to talk about it. Hey, we still can make the playoffs.
You guys can
know?
still make it. You're going to play the winner of the Pelicans
and OKC, both just garbage teams, but we're also garbage. Your team also garbage, but you won.
Do you think you're going to have the guy with the wrapped hand back or no?
No, he's out for the season like an idiot.
That
he was
was
like
wild.
secretly
Insane.
one of our best players.
Yeah.
And I think Rudy will probably be back
He'll
because
be
we'll probably
one
lift
game
the
only.
suspension.
Yeah,
but
one game.
God, that was so. The one game we needed him was against AD, and it was like the one game he was like, bonjour.
So was the game last night? It was not to make the playoffs. It was to decide 7th or 8th seed.
No, it's to make the playoffs.
To make the playoffs. To be the 7th
wow.
seed.
It's
so now,
confusing.
Yeah, we're the 7th seed now. So the loser was the 8th seed. They're going to go play the winner of 9 and 10. And if
then-
they win, they will go play the Nuggets, who's the 1 seed, which
So-
is just a brutal
Yes.
spot to be in.
Yeah, brutal. But
do you
although
got?
I kind of like the matchup.
Yeah.
Who do
I
you
do
guys
too.
think's gonna win the ship?
Big rocks.
I think the Bucks,
Dude,
for sure.
come on.
I didn't
me
know
a
we
bone.
were playing in the NBA championships.
Throw me a bone, dude.
Big rocks, us three, dude.
Oh, us three?
The big rocks, dude.
Oh,
So
I'll
I
throw
thought
you a
were
bone if it's
talking
us three. But no, I think the Bucks are gonna win.
about the Bucks.
We'll see what happens.
I would love to see the Lakers in the finals.
I think they got it.
We're dangerous.
I don't think they got, dude. That
We're
game
feeling-
was so sloppy.
We're feeling dangerous.
You know-
Dude, we're 0-0 now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, hey,
you know
you're-
there was
you're not wrong.
They started 2-10, and there was
Yeah.
a 0.3% chance of them
You
making
know,
the
you know
playoffs.
who filmed that piece of content? Your boy.
Come on.
Come on.
dude.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
You know
come
who
on.
I want to know who they think is gonna win the championship is Rock over there on the couch.
Rock.
Rock
Yeah.
Nation, how we feeling?
Oh, sounds
sounds
so
good.
good, in here,
Cheers,
dude.
dude.
All right.
No,
Keon?
listen, for all those that didn't buy merch, it's fine. He's been living under the overpass on the 405. And if you don't
He's got a lot of
buy
friends
the
over
next drop that's going to come in 2 months, we'll probably have a new intern because, yeah.
He'll leave us. But
Help
that's
the boy out.
Keon.
I've been struggling, but
I fed him chicken and rice today. So it was a full moon, gave him some food. Yeah, but so he's really uppity, and that's why we put him in front of the camera because he's got his energy back and shit. So
How you feeling, Rock?
The people have been asking, bro. I had to show out. The ratings are about to go up. It's gonna be good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Keon, who do you have winning the whole thing in the NBA?
Go Lake Show.
those
are the
thank
boys.
You.
You think they'll get past the Suns?
It's gonna be the best. It'll be the greatest series if it's
That would be
In
so
NBA history.
booked.
Dude,
CP3.
I was just thinking, not to do a total NBA pod. Well, this is the last thing we'll say, but first we have to get to the fucking insane video you got of LeBron and Schroeder. But Schroeder.
Yeah, that'll work.
If the Clippers are playing, who would they play?
Who do they play?
They play another just star-studded team, dude. I'm just saying, they play the Suns.
Oh,
So it's the Clippers and the Suns. So we have Kawhi, KD, Book, Chris Paul. We also have fucking LeBron, Ja Morant. There's so many, and just all in fucking crypto.com arena, dude. I usually call it Staples, but I kind of want the coins to come back up. So I'm trying to do a little grassroots
Yes,
marketing.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
But okay, so tell me about this shot you got, because
Okay.
LeBron's posting it. It's the craziest shot I've ever seen of the video shot, not a basketball
Okay,
shot.
we were 5 rows up, and this was so random. So there's this guy that's standing behind me, right?
Okay.
And he taps me. He goes, "Hey, I hope you're not going to sit there the whole game." And I'm like, "What is this guy saying?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we gotta.
gotta kill the dog, dude. We gotta kill the dog. How'd you get the duck, dude? You can't have the duck. God damn it. I'm 5 rows up at the arena, right? And there's a guy behind me, and he tapped me like 3 times. He's like, "Hey, are you gonna be standing up like that during the game?" And I'm like, "No, like I don't want to be in your way at all. So like, let me know if I'm in your way." And so then like 5 minutes goes by. He taps me. He goes, "Dude, if you need me to hold the camera," I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to like work.
Yeah.
Could you like sit in your seat, please?" And so the guy sits back. Then 5 minutes later, I get his business card. I'm like, "Dude, what is going on? Like, what is happening?" I'm trying to focus like forward. Anyways, I see this ball from like, this is the last play. There's a timeout.
I thought I was going to cut to that guy being like Jimmy Iovine or something.
No,
He's
I just had, it's like the most famous guy in the arena. No, but this is funny though. So then the whole arena is standing up and I'm like, "Oh, let's go." The energy in here is like ridiculous. And I look around, 2 fans sitting down. It's this guy. And I'm like, "Oh my God, like, why is he sitting down during this thing?" I go, "Oh my gosh, like he, maybe he can't stand up for long periods of time." Like, I don't know. That game winner happens. He just walks out the arena. I'm like, "Why are you standing up? Why were you not standing?" He was literally sitting down, and then he's like, "Dad, I can't see." He's like screaming at this guy next to me now because I've moved over to the right. He's screaming at the guy next to me. He's like, "Dude, I need you to sit down." And I'm like, looking at the arena, I'm like, every single person is on their feet.
Yeah.
Stand. I'm not saying anything. Obviously, I'm like, "Stand up, buddy." Like, whatever. Anyways, so 5 rows up, they call a timeout. So they're drawing up this play, which I had assumed was for LeBron.
right.
So
Which I think the Wolves did too.
what I'm assuming everyone thought was that it was for LeBron. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like looking at where they're at on the court, because this is really important if you're ever filming like a big moment like this or football, whatever. You got to kind of anticipate who's going to get the ball and where it's going to probably end up. Because dude, everyone's standing up. The reporters are on all their feet. So I'm like, damn, I need to like get some height right now because I'm not super tall. So I get on my tippy toes.
Nice.
And I'm like leaning over and I ask these 2 reporters who are in front of me, I go, "Hey, like, could you just move an inch to the right?
Right.
And if you move an inch to the left, we're all going to see it and
Right.
it'll be great." So they do. They're good friends.
Nice.
They all move. So I got my spot. And LeBron gets it. He's kind of curling around the outside. I'm like, "Is he going to do a reverse layup?" I'm like,
That's
"No."
what I thought he was going to do.
I'm like, "No way." And then it just immediately clicked to me. I'm like, the Charlotte play where he did the thing. He lost his shoe and he threw it to Schroeder in the corner and Schroeder missed it. And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's the Charlotte play. It's the Charlotte play again." So I see him like, I see him go like right under the basket. I'm like, "That's not a reverse layup. That's going to the corner." Whip to the corner. I'm like,
Yep.
"Oh, come on, baby." Ice into the fence.
Yeah.
Follow it. I'm like, "Okay." So then I whip back and I see him with his like signature freeze like thing. I'm like, "Oh, baby, we got the shot. We got the shot." And then peripheral in front of me to the left, I see
A mystical.
a mystical LeBron
Figure.
Yeah, a mystical figure. I'm like, I don't know who that is, and I'm like, the person is stopped there in my peripheral for like a good 2 seconds. I'm like, it's got to be a reaction of somebody.
Yep.
Don't know who it is. Pan. I'm like,
Wow.
come on.
It's scary because you can't like.
no,
you
no.
can't
What
look
if
yeah.
I panned and it's
Right.
nothing happening?
Right.
I'm like, oh my god.
So it just and it
so
looks
he panned,
and you pan.
caught it, and then they did the little dap thing, and I was like, dude, and I was so happy because that spot isn't the. This is actually unbelievable.
Dude, I love you. We got to put him in the room.
Dude, he's gonna yell like it's not gonna work. So he's gonna have to sit
The
there.
bathroom, maybe. I mean, I was
No,
trying to.
he's literally gonna howl. It's
I'll
insane.
like hold him down.
This is crazy,
buddy. Let's
No,
just take a nap.
don't even touch him. Just like
leave him? All right.
let him relax. He'll
Okay.
calm down in like 2 seconds. So we got the shot, and I immediately knew it. I was like, oh, this is like the best shot I've got all
So
season.
sick.
It
For
was
sure.
so good.
It's the
It's
best
so
one. I think,
good,
Best one
dude.
I've got. And
Dude, and
It's like spectacular.
the edit you made in black and white. You've been chefing,
Yeah, kind of been
dude.
chefing.
Thanks, guys.
Filming and editing, dude.
dude.
Come on, dude. Trying to focus on getting the best shots. You know when I saw something and someone was like, "Oh, why'd you put it in black and white?" I'm like, really, I have no idea. It just looked like a vibe. And then this guy sent me this thing, and it was like, when it's in black and white, there's no color to distract you, and I didn't use any effects. So there's nothing else to distract you but what you're actually looking at the frame. And he's like,
Right.
and if it's composed poorly, you're gonna notice it. If something's out of focus, you're gonna notice it. And I'm like, damn, that's really fair. Thanks for that. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna say it on the pod. So it wasn't just for a dramatic effect.
Yeah.
It was for look at the frame.
Focus,
Look at
dude.
the frame. Focus.
Sometimes when I'm shooting concerts, the lighting is all weird, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with these colors. It looks freaking weird. So I'm like, fuck it, black and
Black
white.
and
You know,
white
like,
it
no,
is.
it's a vibe.
Smart,
It looks way
dude.
better in black and white. But it's because it's like, oh, I couldn't figure out the color on this.
I remember you and I shot fucking Bret Michaels in like a basement in San Francisco. And I remember trying to figure out the white balance. And I was like, how? This was years ago. And I just remember like, how do you do this? Like, how do you shoot concerts? It looks
Yeah.
all stupid. Maybe just put it in black and
There
white.
you go.
Dude, yeah,
dude.
maybe we are we just gonna start a movement? And then my buddy Subers, who used to work for Philly, he works for Fanatics now. He posted a bunch of photos in black and white, and I was like, are we just all black and white guys? We're just all
new trend.
we're just all pressing.
It's not like film look anymore. It's just black
just
and white.
black and white or die. I saw a video on TikTok from Hyundai.
Ah.
You had a new actor.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're filming with. So we did Lion King. It's like Disney's turning 100, so Hyundai is like the car of Disney. So they're doing like a Disney 100 thing, and it's pretty cool. And like usually, so if it's like a smaller budget, like a smaller production, like under 100K, I would say I like get to shoot and direct, which is cool. But then on like the big ones, like this one was like multi-million, like broadcast, huge campaign. It's like I'm like the B unit, so I'm doing like the social pieces. Sometimes I do like Instagram, website, whatever, and like the A unit are like the bosses, and like the guy that's directing this is the guy that made like the Hump Day. Like, you remember, he just does all the animal
Oh,
spots.
this is the guy.
Yeah, Wayne's. I can't remember his last name.
Oh, and he's the one who
Gretzky.
brings the animals.
No, but he knows, he's like very connected with like the animal wranglers. Like he
You're
does
kidding me.
all the cool animal spots. He rocks, dude. You would love him.
That's so funny.
He has his dog with him every day on set.
What kind of dog?
It's an Australian Shepherd.
Okay.
His name's Rick. Cool
Cute.
guy.
That's fine.
But, and dude, okay, really quick tangent. They like they have one animal go across, and then they have another, and it's like super seamless. And they're like, okay, now the animal wranglers are like, everyone, this part's going to be a little more complicated. They're like, these are prairie dogs, and we're in a prairie. So like these prairie dogs aren't just going to walk across from the car. So like they are, all of a sudden there's like 10 animal wranglers, and they all have nets. And I'm like,
Where are you at in the Sahara?
like, no, we're in like Calabasas on like a hill, and there's like a road, there's a car, and they're supposed to walk in front of it, and the other ones just walk right across, perfectly trained, and then all of a sudden they were just like this, and we're like, yo, this looks a little sketch.
Shit's
and
about to go
They let the
down.
prairie dog, and he like starts walking across, and we're like, oh my god, he's doing it, and then just fucking bolts into the prairie, and they all just chase after him, and everyone just cracks up, dude.
Are they just going a million miles an
Like
hour?
a million, they're so fast. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how are you ever gonna
Could you
catch that?
imagine they come back? They have like 6.
Yeah, we all just like, yeah. They're like, well, we caught a couple extra actually, and we all just cheering for this prairie dog. It was so funny. But so production's going along. I'm B unit, so it's like I'm kind of in the way a little bit. You know, I'm like, oh, can I get that car? Can I steal that actor for like a second? Like, I got to get this shot. And I'm like kind of bottom of the totem pole. Then at the end of the day, sun setting, A production, A unit, like the big $1 million, they're a little behind. And the executive producer walks up, stares me in the eye. I'm just like eating crafty, whatever, having some snacks, chilling, because I'm already done. Looks me in the eye and she goes, how good is that camera that you're using? I was using a C70.
The best.
The best. And I just said, it's 4K. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I've had this fucking dream before, dude. She's gonna ask me to shoot for the actual commercial. Like I've daydreamed this every time I go to one of these shoots. I'm like, this is about to happen. And she was like, look, like the broadcast unit always shoots like the YouTube subscribe. Like, you know, at the end, it's like subscribe. It's like not on TV, but it's like the YouTube subscribe thing. They're like, they always shoot that, but they don't have time. And like, you got to shoot it. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. And like, the shot is like plexiglass, and there's a pig that like needs to like fucking like just interact with the plexiglass, and it's like funny, and it's just gonna say like subscribe, whatever. It's just a pig. It looks like it's like seamless to the frame, right?
Okay.
So it's like the whole frame like is the pig moving around.
Okay.
Funny idea, cool, easy. Plexiglass, put the camera on a tripod, and it's funny. As soon as you get pulled up to the major leagues, dude, now I'm on A unit. Everyone's like, Mr. Chase, like, what can I get you? Like, oh, you're going to kneel down, dude? Here's a little foam thing for your knees. Like, everything. It was so fun.
Where's this been at?
Yeah, I'm like, interesting how the tides have turned, dude. So I'm like, I got pulled up to the majors, dude, but I'm super nervous that I'm going to blow the fucking relief because Yeah, I'm shaking my pants off. I'm like, thank God it's on a tripod, or else this shot would just be like this. But I set the shot up. I'm like, I think this is gonna be good. The plexiglass there, the pig's there, it's good. Camera's here. I look through the thing, and I'm just looking back at myself. Because fucking reflections, dude. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I'm like, this just got so much more complicated than I realized. I have a polarizer, like barely does anything. And then, dude, shout out fucking my guy in the sky, Miles. He used to always talk about just like covering everything in black. Every time he shot anything with a car, just a big black sheet behind him all the time. So I'm like, and I see like the DIT, like the guy that transcodes all the footage, has a huge, just like black room.
Room.
Just like, and I'm like, AD guy, like grab that, and I'm on the A unit now, so like, yes, Mr. Chase, and they like grab it and like hold it up behind me, like C-stand it, and the reflections are gone, and we got the fucking shot, dude. And I was so pumped, and I just drove home just like for like so long. I was so happy.
Let's go.
So yeah, hopefully it actually like they use it.
You need to add Pumbaa director to your resume.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. And
Dude,
now
Chase
I'm
was literally directing a Warthog.
Yeah, and now I'm like, am I in the DGA?
Can I add this to like my credit?
Right. So I don't know, but then I was like so excited to like tell people, and then they were like, yeah, you probably like, I was like, I don't know if you should tell people, but I just told it on the podcast.
I love that. Dude,
see what
also
happens.
funny enough that Chloe was telling us, because they were asking her to like come up with ideas for like that, like the social stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was like 11 p.m. at night, and me, Brayden, and Chase are just out here in the living room, and we're just like, oh, dude, Disney characters, like, what if we did this in the car? And I'm like, dude, you get us three in a fucking writing room, and we'll come up with the craziest creative ever.
We're having
Like,
some funny ideas.
Dude, that's so funny. She had some good stuff.
Dude.
She made some good stuff for
It
that.
was fun. It was a good time.
But yeah, that's so fun. Yeah, she does great work, actually, man.
Dude, so you have a very big life announcement
Yes.
to
Yes.
tell the pod listeners and tell us. So what has transpired in the last few months?
yeah, so I got my girl pregnant.
Oh.
The other one. Oh, we weren't supposed to talk about that one.
No, that was supposed to be a next week episode. We need
That was like a whole
we need content. for
Episode
this thing.
59
And
was
it's
like a whole
twins.
thing.
Oh man,
And it's twins. Congrats.
yeah, no. So for those of you guys who've been following the pod for a minute, you guys know that for the past like year and a half, I've been touring with Loud Luxury, doing photo video content, and I decided to quit and hang up or give my resignation. And so I have 3 shows left. So at the end of April, I will be completely done touring. It's been a long time coming. I'm extremely burnt out. I'm ready for something new. And it wasn't an easy decision to make, but like feels super right. And I'm really glad that like I'm deciding to take a step back from touring. I still want to get back to concerts eventually, but tour life, man, it's grueling. And yeah, I'm just ready for the next step.
You did it for how long exactly?
Year and a half, I want to say. My first show with them was in September or October. I think it was in October, and it was EDC. Wow. So about 18 months.
Wow. And how far, dude? How far you came
Oh
along?
my
Do you
God.
remember that before
Remember
that first show?
Dude.
Oh, dude, he was pissing his pants.
EDC, Kostas' first show. He's like, oh, Brayden, do I have the battery? Do I need a memory card? Do I use those still?
Had never used a flash
Which camera?
before.
Which way do you
my
hold the
God,
camera?
dude?
Yeah.
Then Buddy Shefton just
chefed it,
you went
dude.
on the road for. I mean,
Yeah.
Kostas. I personally feel like I haven't seen you
Right.
in a for an extended period of time. For like, I'll come home to the apartment and I'm like, is Kostas here or is Kostas
It's
not here?
crazy,
Yeah.
man. It's
So
crazy how
I'm excited to have you back.
crazy how hard you
Yeah.
grinded, man.
You guys should all go to Kostas' bio, go to his Kostas G photo page and check out, scroll down and look at the beginning and look at the stuff you're doing right now. Cause honestly, you were the concert guy, dude. You chef at concert and other things, but like, it's really crazy to see your progression. Like,
Yeah.
Thank
I think
you.
You're a rock.
That means a
I
lot.
was gonna say it's crazy because you chefed that EDC and we were all like, oh shit, dude, you're doing it.
Yeah,
but
you can do
it's
it.
crazy that you got better and better and better.
Yeah,
and better
it's
and better.
insane. Cause did you notice it like while you were doing it?
Yeah, I mean, just with anything, you kind of get better the more you do it. And you just, I knew how to take photos and take video,
Right.
but like anytime you go into a different like niche of photo video, there's certain things, there's nuances with each, genre that you have to learn. And so just getting to know like how to move around, and like even I started getting like new gear, like for the first, I would say like 4 months, maybe 5 months, I didn't have a 70 to 200. And like once I
Right.
got that completely changed it. Then I got like a 12 to 24, so even wider. And and just like learning how to shoot shows. But like I could definitely see my progression. Like there'd be runs that I would go on and like looking back at my photos, and even like I started pulling all of like my best photos for my portfolio, and I was like, oh, I'm pulling way more from like the second half of touring. But yeah, it's really cool to see your progression when it's with anything, like in the gym or with work or whatever you're doing.
I mean, you're not seeing it in the gym, but like,
Right, everywhere else.
Well, that's honestly a big reason why I had to quit touring, because I need to get back in the gym. Brandon's still looking kind of small, but
There you go.
fuck, man. But yeah, dude, honestly, like today I wanted to use the Rock Talk to kind of, I was reminiscing about my time, and I feel like I've grown a lot and matured a lot and learned a lot in the last year and a half from touring. So there's like kind of 10 lessons or
Boy came
just
prepared.
things that I wanted to talk about, like 10 things I learned and epiphanies I had over the past year.
Let's hear it.
give me number one.
So the first one, it's more of like an overall observation, but it's just really crazy to me to think of what used to be like a dream job. I looked at this as a dream job is now something I really want no part of.
Right.
And like before I started shooting concerts, it's like I always dreamed of shooting concerts and going on tour. And like me and Chase used to talk about this, like how cool would it be to go on tour? And like now that I did it, I feel like I did it. I'm able to check it off, but like, man, I want no part of tour life anymore. And I just think it's crazy that that can happen.
Yeah. But it's so, I feel like so many people have these crazy dreams that they never get to see, and they always think, I wish I would have tried to be an actor. I wish I would have tried to, and it's so good to actually do it, because then you can check it off and be like, you know what, I'm happy being the Excel guy and fucking, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the second one is, as you grow older and mature, what you want out of life changes. Your priorities change with time. And I think we often get caught up in being like, your mindset now is what your mindset is going to be forever, 5-10 years down the line. What you want out of life at this current moment, you think is what you're going to want out of life in 5-10 years, 15 years down the line. And like, that's not always the case. And it's okay for you to change what your goals are, just because like as humans, we're constantly evolving. So I think that's like really important.
Totally.
And I think you've grown so much as a person. Your life has changed a lot in a year and a half. You know, you have a girlfriend now. I mean, you found out they're like, okay, I really want to prioritize like my health, and you want to get in shape.
Right.
And like, obviously there's a lot of room to go with that, to get in shape and stuff. With
And
you.
like,
It'll probably happen pretty quickly, honestly, I think.
I can't ever tell when you break from being serious. And so when I was like, oh wait, this is a bit. But no, seriously, yeah. Like you get more, like, obviously when you have a girlfriend, as Braden and I know, it's a lot more responsibility. Just in being, you got to be more, you got to own up to who you are, what to be good at, making time for things that aren't just you, whatever, working, eating, like, you know. And taking a gym is another same thing, like trying to be in shape. So it's like, yeah, you're right. Like you're changing your priorities, and that's really important, man. You know.
And I just want to like shout out to my girlfriend. Her name's Kat, but she's been super like understanding about, I guess, what I do for work. And we started, dating as I was really having the feelings of wanting to wind down. And like, I think had I met her like a little bit early on while I was in the middle of touring, like I don't know if it really would have worked out, but she's been super supportive and like super understanding of me being gone on the weekends. So that's been like super nice. But yeah, like I just remember being in college or my early 20s, and my priority was like, oh, I want to go out and like, I want to know what it's like being in the club or backstage, and like, I want to party a lot and all that kind of stuff. I was never like the biggest partier, but like going out and doing that. And now as I've gotten older, I want to really prioritize my health. I want to get 8 hours of sleep. I want to eat healthy. I want to get in the gym. I want to just be healthy and live a different lifestyle. And I just, if you would have told me that, I guess maybe like a couple years ago, I don't know if I would have believed you, because like you're so caught up in one mindset.
Totally. Yeah, it's good to know that things always will change.
Yeah. Okay, so the third one is, and this is a really important one to me, is my identity was too wrapped up in my work. And to be honest, like I was really insecure before I started shooting for them about me as like a photographer, filmmaker, content creator. I didn't ever really feel like I was like shooting that coolest stuff. And I thought that like becoming their photographer gave me like credibility, and I thought that it was going to fill this like insecurity or help with this insecurity of being like, oh, now like when people ask me what I do for work, I have something cool to say. So now you're going to think that I'm like cool and I'm going to get validated for that. And like, I'm going to feel like I'm enough. And that stems from like a deeper insecurity of mine of being like, fuck, I've really always struggled with like feeling like I'm enough.
Right.
And you know, that's for like deeper, we can keep going down the rabbit hole.
But Chris D'Elia a bit.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, because. Yeah. Why?
Because I had a lot of trauma
I'm
in
not
my childhood.
It's so funny.
But yeah, and I came to realize that like, yeah, when people would ask me like, oh, what do you do for work? I was like really excited. I would play it off cool, like, oh, I'm shoot concerts, like I feel on luxury, whatever. But in my head, I was like, oh, you're gonna think I'm cool and I'm gonna feel validated because I shoot something that's like sexy. And something that I've realized is like, you aren't your work and you shouldn't be your work. Your whole identity isn't what you do for work. Of course, it's like part of what you do, but like, man, like as humans, we're multifaceted. We do many different things. You aren't what you do for work. And I think that's something that not only I struggle with, I'm sure a lot of people struggle with, but like, yeah, there's so many other things that I want to do in life. And, but yeah, I realized that my identity was very wrapped up in my work, and I don't want that to be the case.
Great awareness, dude. I feel like that was real wise. I don't really have anything to add.
What do you like when someone does feel wrapped up in their work? What do you think is like the
It's like, how do I get out of that?
what is the answer to that? Because I think you're right. I think like I saw it on Twitter. Someone the other day was like, oh, they like had left their job. I don't remember what team they had shot for. It was like a sports creative, and they're like, I'm so happy that I did this. Like when someone would ask me what I do for work, it was like instantaneous, like this name of this brand, and like that's what I wanted to be associated with it. So, you know, how does someone almost like find their identity outside of their work if they do feel like their identity is like so intertwined with their work?
Yeah, you know,
like what did you do, or what do you feel like you've grown to know over this over this time?
You know, I think like I don't know if I'm necessarily like the right person to ask to give particular advice on this because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But I will say that I don't think you ever like figure yourself out fully. I think the game of finding out who you are as a person, what your identity is, it's a lifelong game. So I think that like you just gotta do more and make time and make yourself a priority to like, hey, life isn't all about work. There's more out there. Like explore, try different things, see what it is you like, and do more of that. And yeah, man, but I think that like there's this concept of like I'm gonna know exactly who I am at like 25 or 30 or whatever it may be, and that's just like not the case. It's like life is always changing, and like figuring out who you are as a person, I think, is just like something that is a lifelong thing. You're always learning more about yourself and like other people around you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, this kind of goes into the next one, but it's you never have it all figured out. So kind of on the point of like trying to figure out your identity, I remember a couple months into touring, I would say like 3 months, like probably 2 or 3 months in, when I knew that it was like locked in consistent, because when I was first doing it, it was they were still like testing me out, right? So I didn't know if I was like locked in. But then I was, you know, getting used to going on the road. They were booking me for more shows, and I was like, okay, this is like fucking first time in my career where I really feel like I have consistency as a creator. I'm making good money, and like I felt like I had it all figured out. And then I feel like I got humbled, because then once I felt like I had it all figured out, then I started feeling burnt out, and then I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
What stage was that at? Do you think it was at like 3, 4 months, 6 months in? Because like I think with any cool job, the pizzazz, like your heart beating a million miles a second before you do it, wears off.
Yes, totally.
All of that stuff wears off, and then it's like, oh, do I actually enjoy the people I'm around? Do I actually like the work? So when do you feel like that point was where you like, damn, bro, I'm tired?
It was after a really gnarly run in September. So I would say I was about a year into it, and I had, you know, excited about summer because I was like, oh, we're going to all these like festivals and doing these big shows, and this is like how exciting. And then a year in, I'm like, man, like I didn't really have a summer. I'm not really getting to hang out with friends as much as I'd like to. You know, the shows are kind of getting repetitive. And then I think I did about 16 shows in September, and I was so burnt out.
Yeah.
Just like too much. I was like literally gone for like 20 days. Too long to be gone. And I remember being burnt out, and I was like, fuck, like I don't know how much longer I can do this for. But then I kept justifying it being like, well, that's just September. Like October will be a little bit more chill. And like, you know, if it's only 8 shows, like 2 shows a weekend as opposed to 16 shows, like I'll be good. And I started like suppressing these feelings because I still had my identity wrapped up into it. I was like, if I'm not their photographer, like what am I? Type of thing, right? And I was also listening to, this is a while ago, but I was listening to a round table of a bunch of actors, and Tom Hanks said something really interesting. He said, or the question was, what do you wish you knew earlier on in your career? And he answered with, this too shall pass. And I've always remembered it, like good or bad. When you're feeling down in the dumps and things aren't going your way, like this too shall pass. Something better will come. You think you're the shit and you have it all figured out and your shit don't stink, like this too shall pass. So yeah, it's like you really never have it all figured out, and that's just like something that I came to realize.
Absolutely.
How do you guys feel about this? Like for you, right? Like you have a job that is in the same vein, but even like crazier. Like for the Lakers, like how do you feel with that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that like you have these super high highs, and then something will happen and you'll realize that, okay, I need to like ground myself in this moment and continue to like press on, like this too shall pass. And I think even stuff that I wasn't doing with the Lakers before the Lakers, it's you know, life's like such big ups and downs, especially when I was just doing my own company. Like I would get a call one day and I would close like the biggest bag ever, and then I'd be like, oh, $7,500, like I'm good for the next like year in my head. And then a few months go by, I'm like, oh shit, there's like $400 in my bank account, and I need to like actually eat. So let me scarf this together and figure out how I can do another job. And so I think that like you said, I think life is all about, you know, it's up and down and up and down, and learning how to be cool with what, you know, what you mean to yourself and what you mean to your friends and what you mean to your family and stuff like that. Other, like not tying everything that you do to just the work that you put out on social media, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You know, what really matters is like your health, your relationships with friends and family and whatnot, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just fully agree. I just feel like, and I also feel like you'll always get used to something awesome, which sucks, but it's true. So it's like, even if you're doing something awesome, the excitement of it passes, right? And then it's just you start to notice like, oh well, it's awesome, but I'm fucking tired and I don't get to do this. So it's like you never have it figured out. Even if it seems like you do, it's like eventually it'll suck, or eventually something better will happen if you're down in the dumps, you know? Yeah,
and I think that goes for everyone that's listening. You see all these people on Instagram, like you hear people say it, you're like, oh, it's never what it seems like other people. And it couldn't be more true, because I've met people who I'm like, this is my favorite person ever, and they're completely different. Like you might meet someone on social, like this is my favorite person ever, and you're like, wow, that guy sucks, or you know, or they're like, oh, I hate doing this thing or whatever. So it really is never what you think it is. And I think that like you can't compare apples to oranges. You really gotta focus on what you have right in front of you, because the water is always going to be bluer over there, the grass is always going to be greener. But what really matters at the end of the day is like how you feel, right? Because if you're all sad and broken, but you're shooting for the biggest concert duo in the world, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, right? It doesn't matter. Like you're unhappy, you're not in a good headspace, you're like literally sickening yourself by doing this thing that everybody else thinks is great, right? And you have to step back and say like, what's gonna be the best for me right now to get the most out of this one life that we get to live. I
just think that like you don't ever like figure out life.
No,
it's
never.
like,
I'm so with you.
Never. It's just like not a thing. Like
I really thought I had it figured out at like 21 in my head for like a week. I was like, I got it.
But I think even when you're 80 or whatever, you're still like, I still don't really know how to do this, or like I haven't figured this part of my relationship out or whatever, you know.
And it's just like it's going back to like your whole life isn't your work, right? It's like figuring out how to balance it, still, you know, grind and make something of yourself with your career, but then like learning how to balance friends and then a wife and kids and then like grandkids and then like retirement, whatever. It's like, and then, you know, things get thrown your way, like people in your life pass, like everything just like as life goes on, like, I don't know, just things change and you got to like adapt and like learn, but like that is the beauty of life. But like, yeah, man, you just, I don't know, I just don't think you ever fully figure out life.
Roll with the punches, baby.
Okay, the next one is you can be grateful and ungrateful / resentful towards something at the same time. And this one I realized when I was watching The Diary of a CEO with Cole Sprouse on. It's a podcast that I like to listen to. And he was talking about like his experience as a childhood actor. And he was like, you know, in one side of the coin, I'm a childhood actor. I have this success. I have this money. I'm good financially, but like it came at a cost of like my childhood and other things. So it's like, I'm grateful for it, but I also kind of am like resentful towards it and ungrateful for it. And so like on one end, I'm super grateful that I'm getting to do a job that was like at one time this huge dream of mine. And then I have like resentment towards it because I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be gone every weekend. I want to hang out with friends. Like I'm feeling burnt out. And then I didn't realize that you could kind of have both of these feelings at the same time. So I was like, why the fuck are you feeling like a piece of shit? You should feel grateful for this opportunity. Like you're being really jaded right now. And I realized that like it is possible to feel grateful and have appreciation for one thing and then also kind of like not want to do it and kind of have resentment towards the same thing.
That should is a hard word when you're like, I should feel happier, I should be grateful, I should feel whatever. Fuck that, dude. It's just not fair to yourself because you are feeling how you are feeling, and to say you should be feeling one way is never going to lead to like a positive outcome.
Let's delete the word should.
Yeah.
You told me one time, you go, your mom told you don't should yourself. Yeah. I'll always remember that.
Big anti-should household.
Yeah. Next one is just everything is more glamorous on the internet. And I think that is like super important to remember. I'm sure you guys, like some of you guys follow me on Instagram or see me, you know, post stories or TikTok vlogs, whatever. And it looks fucking sick because it's like, oh, this crazy show and he's shooting this show and he's on stage in front of, you know, thousands of people and getting to tour with this artist and getting to be in new cities and like, yeah, it looks fucking sick on Instagram.
Right.
But you have to remember that social media is a highlight reel.
Right.
Like it's like what I post is curated. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know how much sleep I'm on. You don't know like what kind of mood I'm in, what I'm dealing with in my personal life, like what routing we had to take, how little sleep I'm on to be in bumfuck nowhere, Nebraska, whatever to shoot. Shout out Nebraska.
Shitting on it. Yep.
Whatever. But like, it's funny because I'm sure people might look at my content and feel like that about me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, if you only knew. Mm-hmm. But I'm also guilty of looking at other people on social media who I don't even know. You see a snippet into their life and being like, man, they got it all figured out. They lived a life. I wish I was just like them or whatever. Like if I was just doing what they were doing, like I'd be happy. And like, that's just like not the case. But yeah, just a reminder, man, that like what you see on social media is just a highlight reel and everything is more glamorous on the internet. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I feel like that's such an important thing for like, especially our generation and like the generation below us, where it's like you only see people on the internet because like back in the day, like they would just compare themselves to like who they saw on the street.
Neighbor Sally,
the Joneses or whatever the fuck. And now it's like we compare ourselves to like the biggest, most successful people and we only see their happiest moments, which are going to be insane.
Drive around this block, Ferraris.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. It's like, oh, that's great. That's awesome.
But you don't know if that guy fucking murdered someone for his Ferrari, you know?
And yet Braden's in a Tesla. Yeah. Like, this fucking bullshit. I'm so poor.
I'm a bitch. Yeah. Dude, totally though. And I just think that's so important to not, one, just trying to compare yourselves at all, but obviously you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Two, doing it on the internet is just the worst place to do it because it's just so unfair. Because you know all your low stuff And then if maybe, I mean, you can compare highlights, but that's still fucked up.
Yeah.
But you can look at your own and be like, oh, actually, I'm kind of cool. But like, you should know that inside and know that that person's probably not all that inside too.
Or even like, I was shooting a show and I could look at like another photographer that's doing the same line of work as me and being like, man, I'm only doing shows that has like 5,000 people in the crowd. Like, he's doing stadiums.
Right.
Like, man, like little shit like that. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like a year ago, you would die to do a show in front of like 100 people. Whatever.
Right.
Okay, the next one is trust that something better for you is out there when you feel your current situation isn't serving you anymore. And this has happened to me a few times. I've been at a crossroad a few times in my life, post-college, where, you know, I wanted to stop doing something. So for example, quitting my restaurant job. I didn't really have much lined up after that. I was just pretty sick of working in a restaurant. I was like, you know what? I'm over it. I quit and I'm going to figure it out.
That was exciting.
Another one was I was pursuing DJing with my best friend Josh, and I knew deep down that it wasn't for me, but I still kept doing it longer than I should have. And eventually I was like, you know what? This isn't serving me anymore. And I quit. Another one was like moving out. I was like really scared to move out of my mom's house because I had never paid rent before. And now we're here and like it worked out. And then, you know, this most recent time is quitting this job. And I remember the moment where I kind of reached my breaking point. I was editing a video for them and I kind of bullshitted my way through the video. They needed like a Vegas residency, like a second video. And I like had just made one. And I basically like took a new song, took the same exact clips, rearranged them and sent it off. And I just like hate video editing. And so I just like kind of bullshitted my way and I sent it and I was like, I really hope that they don't ask for any changes. And, they're like, yeah, like we need to have like all new clips and stuff. And I was like, dude, I'm so fucking over this shit. Like I was thinking about doing part-time, like telling them like, hey, you know, let me get a second shooter I can do every other weekend. And at that moment I was like, fuck this. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't care about the money. Like it's not about that. Like I got to figure something else out. But I just hated doing it so much. And I was like having anxiety about doing more shows that I was like, I quit. I'm over it. And I was like, you know what? I've been here before. Let me trust my gut and be like, universe, what do you got for me? And the next morning, I woke up to a brand deal in my inbox that was worth more than 3 times my monthly salary. So it was like in between like 3 to 4 months what I would make from Loud Luxury
Bags.
for fucking like TikToks. And I was like, okay, that's fucking crazy. Like that's a sign that I'm like, I'll be all good. Then I go to this gym that I do social media work for. And I told the guy who originally hired me, it's a very part-time gig, but I was like, dude, Jace, like I decided to quit. He was like, how are you? And I was like, dude, I've been going through it, man. I had like a fucking mental breakdown last night. Like I decided that I'm like fully done touring. I can't do it anymore. He goes, oh, that's crazy. Like we talked internally. He goes, how would you feel about like coming on and doing more work for us? And I was like, yeah, great. Like, what do you have in mind? He goes, well, as you know, like we're opening up a new location in Brentwood. We have like these 2 other sections of the gym that we want to build, like the online stuff and just like more mental, like meditation kind of stuff. And he's like, how would you feel about like coming on as like head content creator, head creative director, and like kind of doing this more? And I was like, yeah,
that rocks.
And
And
it came at a better time.
Yeah, right.
And it was just, it was crazy because I felt like those 2 things really made me realize that like, okay, I am making the right choice. But I also felt like when I was in the thick of touring, 1, because I was like so tired from doing the touring, and 2, I was balancing a few other like, you know, part-time social media gigs, whatever, freelance gigs out here, that I felt like I had like my plate full. And in my mind, I'm like, I can't take on anything. Like my bandwidth is full. Like, so I felt as though I was blocking blessings and opportunities from coming into my life because I had that block in my mind of like, I can't take anything else on right now. And like those opportunities were out there. I just had like blocked them from coming in because I wasn't open to receiving them.
It's crazy whenever you kind of put a call out to the, I mean, not to sound super LA fucking foo-foo, but like a call out to the universe to
Seriously,
be like, you know
yeah.
what, like I kind of need like I have some extra time, and I would love to fulfill that with like some more work or like something. What like or like an important thing or like a passion project, and it always comes. Like if you have clarity and you fucking put it out, it always comes back. And it's like you're like, okay, now I'm shutting that door and all these other doors are going to open because that's what you're looking for.
Dude, I think when you bet on yourself, we've talked about this so many times, but every time the three of us, specifically 4 in the corner, Big Rock, anytime that we bet on ourselves and we've shot a shot, or you've said like, hey, like I'm ready for something new to come, you like write it down, you believe like something good is coming, like things are happening for me. I'm telling you, if you guys wake up and you say things are happening for me, shit will start to come into your life. You're gonna think it's black magic. I swear to God, you're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? You might get a knock from a random person on your street, be like, you look good today. Like I'm telling you, dude, if you wake up and say things are happening for me, you'll be so surprised at the little things that pop into your life. And I think when you set yourself up to receive the W's, right? Like, you're waking up, you're getting your meals in you, you're drinking water, you're like feeling good, your body's feeling good and stuff, little things like that. It just all like you're working out. It all starts like trickle more W's coming into your life. So if you feel like you're in a funk right now, look at your life, look at what you're doing and say, okay, how can I get a little W in the morning? What can I do? Can I wake up a little bit earlier if I want to like actually go to the gym at 8? Maybe I need to wake up at 7. Like think about the little things that you can do to get you some more W's, and they're going to come times 10 back to you.
Wait, can I give a little story? It'll be quick.
Tell us a story.
Pod. So basically an example with like the universe kind of blessing you in like weird ways. I went to the University of Santa Barbara, wasn't really liking it at all. Kind of just not motivated to do a lot of stuff. And I told my mom I wanted to leave. We talked it out. She supported me. And I remember like driving down PCH by the beach just with like a tingly feeling. I'm like, all right, I'm leaving school. I got to figure out something to like make it worth it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to figure out how to work with this Lakers dude. So I literally DM'd Braden that night, and we had already DM'd a little bit before, and then he just randomly responds like, yo, Keon, how good are you at editing? And I'm like, I'm fucking good enough. I don't know. Let's do some shit.
He wasn't.
He couldn't even open up Premiere, dude.
But he came around.
And then from there, it's been like the best time ever with these guys. So.
Dude, I think you literally came over the next day, and I was filming my program, and I was like, yo, like I'll teach you how to edit if you help me edit this program. And we stayed in that room for like,
you guys were just
like
cavemen.
5 to midnight, just
So fun.
grinding on these videos.
It was so
forever.
I literally learned
Months.
everything just by making the course for him. I just learned everything from there, and I was like, perfect.
I mean, it was nuts. I remember, oh my God. That feels like so long ago
was
we
funny,
did that.
dude.
It's crazy. No, but for real, I mean, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Keon, you got a great pod voice,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
You
he
do have a
does.
good
Oh,
pod
shit.
voice. I'll give it to you.
And then I guess one last thing I want to say on this topic too is like, because I just feel like this can resonate a lot with people, is I was really caught up in like the financial side of things. Like, yes, I had some other, freelance projects and brand deals and all that kind of stuff, but like, I'd say the Loud Luxury shit was probably like 75-80% of like my monthly income. And like to think about being like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore, but I got fucking bills to pay and I can't just quit, is like a really scary place to be. And like, luckily it wasn't like 100% of my income. And like, I did have some like, I guess other things like set up, but it's a scary place.
Totally.
But also like every time I'd make that decision in the past, it's like everything's been kind of like financially driven, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I was always scared because I was like, money comes into play.
Right.
But it always like works out. And I think that like you shouldn't let money be a reason why you stay doing something.
Yeah. Because you gotta take a leap at some point, and I know that's scary. I know it's hard for a lot of people, especially people that are living more paycheck to paycheck and like all that stuff. They don't have the opportunities, but sometimes like if you're gonna do it, you gotta try to do it at least once, 100%. And just send it.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, and this is actually a quote by Casey Neistat.
We love him.
Shout out.
Once you stop, you'll never be able to get it back. And he was talking about this to David Dobrik when at VidCon. I remember Casey talked about this in a video or a podcast or something, but he was telling David was explaining to him that he was thinking about going down to like 2 days of vlogging as opposed to 3. And he goes, okay, but just know you'll never be able to get it back. Meaning once you stop doing 3 days a week, you'll never be able to get back to a place of doing 3 days a week of vlogging. And for me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to quit touring. And I know that if I quit touring, I'm never going to be able to get back to a place of like getting myself to that place of being able to get up and go every single weekend and live off of like fucking 4 hours of sleep a night and like do this whole grind thing. But I just thought, I was like, man, I really relate to that Casey Neistat quote.
Yeah, it's like once you push yourself to one point, once you like take a step back, I feel like it's so hard to take that step back up. That's a great point.
And it kind of goes into my next point, which is you're capable of more than you think. I think a lot of times, like, I'm so busy. That is an excuse that we like all use. And like oftentimes when we're working, like it's the busy work. We're not really working. We're kind of bullshitting. We're making it look like we're doing more than we are on social media. And sometimes you don't realize what you are capable of until like you have no other option. Like, I didn't think I was able to live off of like 2 to 4 hours of sleep for 4 to 5 days in a row until I was like forced to. And I really didn't have any other option because there was just like no other option.
Of course.
And I also think that like the more you have on your plate forces you to be more productive. And I oftentimes think that we think, oh, I can't take on anything more. I have like too much on my plate. But if you're better about like your time management, and if you do actually have more on your plate, it forces you to get the shit done. So it forces you to be more productive.
What's the quote? If you give someone that has a lot of free time a task, you give a busy person the task you want done, or something like that.
Yes.
Because a busy person. What's the quote, Kian? You got it?
I don't know.
God damn it.
No,
it's a good quote,
I know exactly.
though.
The human body, like, you'll adapt. You will
dude.
adapt, dude. If you've never ran a mile and you start practicing running a mile, you're gonna be able to run a mile.
And when you're in that mode of getting stuff done, like I always use it. This was always so profound for me. Welcome week college. You don't have any responsibility except for partying, and I would try to work out, right? Because I don't have anything else to do. I'm like, one thing to do in the day is work out. Fucking never did it. But then when I have 4 classes, homework, and whatever things to do, I always had time to work out. I always got to work out in. And it's like when you're in the mindset of getting shit done, you just get more shit done.
Absolutely. I also think, I've talked a lot about like being burnt out and, like finding your passion and work-life balance, all that kind of stuff. But I also think that your 20s is the time to fucking grind. And I think work-life balance is important, but if y'all want to make something of yourself, work harder.
Right.
And I think that like, push yourself, because you never know what you're fully capable of until you really like put a lot on your plate and force yourself to do more. And I just think that like, man, your young 20s, when you have fucking drive and energy, like, and very little responsibility, like fucking work harder and grind, because
find your limit almost.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you do with all things, but like find how much can you fucking get done in a day? Like that's kind of exciting to figure out,
Give me the last one.
Okay, we got the last one, is take care of your mental and physical health. And I would say, I grew up playing sports, was always kind of like in the gym. Obviously, I look like a super athletic guy. After college, I kind of really was like, fell off out of the gym. I try to eat as healthy as I can. But really the last like year and a half, it's been really hard to not only like be at like a baseline, but like, I mean, every weekend I'm on very little sleep. Like my sleep schedule is getting fucked up. I'm not eating that well. I'm drinking. Like I'm just stressed. I'm not in the best mental and physical space. And you're not really able to bring your best self to work unless you're taking care of yourself mentally and physically. And oftentimes I think that they definitely go hand in hand. Like if you're taking care of yourself physically, your mental is just going to be way better. And that comes with drinking more water, getting enough sleep, getting outside and just like taking care of yourself. And I just want you guys to know that like, obviously it's important to grind and fucking work hard, but like make sure you're getting enough sleep and taking care of yourself, because you got to be able to bring your best self to set and to work.
Totally.
Yeah, even if you're getting sketch, you're up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You got to wake up at 10, dude.
Right.
You know, you're
Right.
burning the candle. You can't burn the candle at both ends.
Can't, or else you'll have a stroke and it'll be bad.
it's
Yeah.
bad. So make sure you're getting your sleep. And I also think that you're so right though. Like I've noticed in my work that I get really sour to like. So let's half it. Business, creative stuff. When I'm very tired, the absolute last thing I want to do is ever open the computer and edit a video.
Yeah.
Or when I'm like and haven't slept, or when I haven't eaten that day, it's like that's the last thing I want to do. And I'll be like, damn, there's been days where I'm like, fuck this. Why did I pick this?
Right.
Why did I pick this? Like there's a million things to pick. Why did I pick this? And it's usually because like my mental isn't, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I have on 2 hours of sleep. You got to take care of yourself first. Like the work and stuff, it's always second. It should never come before you, you know. You like, I think that as I've gotten progressively busier, I have let some habits like going to the gym slip away, and it should be the opposite.
Yes.
I should put those habits first because those are going to make me feel good. I'll feel in shape. I will feel like I've actually not been a lazy piece of shit and sat in a chair for 12 hours today. And I think that it's important, like as you get more busy, you need to figure out what the non-negotiables for you are, whether it's 3 meals, 8 hours of sleep, a workout, or just a walk. It doesn't even have to be like a crazy strenuous thing on your body, but just, so I need to see the sunlight during the day. There's nothing worse than and depressing than working all day and walking out and having the sun be down. And you're like, that's great. This day was pissed away. Like that's awesome. You know? So I think you always need to, you know, put yourself on the spaceship, dude.
Come on,
Put
dude.
yourself on the spaceship, dude.
You got it. And you only get like, you can have many jobs come in and out of your life. Like Kostas was talking about, but you only get one fucking body, dude. You got to take care of that shit. Last thing I was going to say about how you were talking, it's a quick final thought. When you're talking about like, even go on a walk if you can, dude. Yesterday I went for a walk. I was going for a walk. I was like, this is the only exercise I have to do. And like, I was like kind of fit for like a little bit there when I was working out with Zane's trainer. Zane's in Japan for like fucking 2 months. So now I'm just not fit at all. And I'm going for a walk and I pull up my phone because I have this app when I used to run. It's like map my run. I hit it and I'm like, going for a walk and I'm mapping my run. I'm like, that's where I'm at. See if I can get a mile, baby. You know, like,
I love that.
Pace 22 minutes.
That's
Like,
so funny.
I was like, this is embarrassing. I need to do some push-ups real quick.
That's
So
hilarious.
I'll get back on the grind. I'll start running.
Dude,
me and you both.
Yeah, come on.
Let's go play some tennis, dude.
Yeah, I'm down, dude.
Come on.
We also, Keon back there, we need a ball. Us
Oh,
four,
yeah.
we need to get out there on the court,
we
dude.
need a ball.
We got
I'm
a
so
ball,
down.
hit the links, gym sesh. We got to do it all.
All of
Dude,
it.
that golf course I went up to with my buddy in the valley, fucking great course, cheap too.
$20.
Cool.
It was like around there, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's fun too. It's
That's what I'm
good
talking
views.
about.
We can shoot stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
I'll be here on the weekends.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
nothing but
Dude,
free
let's
time.
go hit the links.
Oh, is there a bonus?
There is one bonus.
Give it to
It's
me.
just always end on good terms.
Yeah, word.
Like I made sure to give them a month's notice, and I wanted to end on like a good term with them, so they didn't have anything bad to say about me. Like, fucking world's small. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I never want them to be able to say anything bad, because I do want to get back into concerts, and like, if I hit up someone to get an opportunity to shoot, I don't want them to be like, oh, I know you shot for Loud Luxury, let me hit them up and see
Right.
what he was like. And I didn't want to give them any reason to be like to have anything bad to say about me.
Totally. And it's a good person move. It's just a good move. Yeah.
I
Well
love
done,
it.
dude.
I love it, dude. I love it. I'm so excited to see what the next few months look like for
Yes.
you. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into episode 57 of the 505 podcast. Make sure to leave a review, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and we'll see you guys all next Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.